Hey yo, what is up? Welcome to Ninja Geek Games. Are you looking for the next big story-driven campaign with branching storylines, character development and co-op play with a sci-fi theme? You are? Well, that's lucky because that was a highly specific statement. Rogue Angels, Legacy of the Burning Suns hits Kickstarter in February 2022 and is a 1 to 4 player game that promises a campaign of epic proportions where players select one of many unique heroes and team up to complete multi-part missions with tactical hand management. Heroes face off against enemies controlled by an AI deck, and you'll need to make some difficult decisions that impact play in order to complete objectives and interact in various ways with the environment. In this video, I'll give you an overview of the game, its components, and some of the cool mechanics we're expecting. Note that all the components you see here are a prototype, so the quality and number will be vastly different. The game comes with a ton of components, even for campaign standards, as well as tokens, dice, doors, obstacles, mission maps, 2 campaign books. There are also 20 hero characters that each come inside a dossier pack containing their own action cards, standee and legacy campaign folder. There are multiple enemy types as well as a cool bag of tokens used to carry out some interactive actions, but I'll talk about that later. When beginning a campaign, players will select one of the available heroes. They'll come in dossier packs with a backstory and what elements that they bring to the game. This allows players to discuss character selection openly so that you can utilise other heroes' strengths against your weaknesses to create a robust squad. On opening a dossier pack, you'll be presented with a standee, a double-sided character sheet and 7 action cards unique to that hero. The character sheets have areas to record your shields, which is used to prevent damage, a focus track for re-rolling dice, the hero's special ability, and a personality section that provides one-off boosts to actions. This is the cooldown track, where used action cards are placed once played, and here is where you record any scars due to failure or specific outcomes of missions. When starting a mission, you'll need to first select a player to represent the commander, who consults the campaign book and reads out the mission briefing, objectives, and may also have to break ties and make critical decisions. There is a detailed overview of the map layout indicating all the structures, obstacles, and both enemy and starting player locations. Not only that, the map and mission will be updated at specific times as a result of the time track or completion of objectives, and this may add items to the map, change the goal or behaviour of the enemies. During play, each hero carries out 3 phases followed by the next hero, and there is no strict player order, so you are free to tactically discuss your options. The 3 phases include an action phase, where players make use of their action cards, a mission check to determine if objectives have been met, and an enemy phase. Now, I'm quite impressed with how the action phase works, with the game implementing some novel mechanics. The heroes can take 2 of 3 different actions, and can take the same action twice. The hero can make use of one of the action cards available, and to do this, you play the card, roll the number of dice indicated and carry out the action. These cards allow for ranged and melee combat, moving, healing, interactions, ongoing effects, and provide you with a number of options to choose from. The dice rolled alongside the played card gives either a modifier to the action value, movement points, or increases your shield value. You can also spend focus from your character sheet to re-roll dice, as well as spending tokens from your personality section to boost the played card, but these have limited uses. Once an action card is played, it needs to go into your cooldown track, where the card indicates the lowest possible section where it can be placed with its cooldown value. Now, this is where you need to plan ahead and think strategically. Firstly, only 1 card can occupy a cooldown slot. Placing the card in its lowest allowed section means that you'll get the card back into your hand sooner. But if you have another card you also want to play that shares the same cooldown area, it'll need to go into a higher slot. This means that placing cards in the cooldown track is sometimes beneficial to place them in higher numbered slots than their actual value to free up the lower spaces. At the end of the round, all the cards move down 1 slot, and any that come off the track go back into your hand. Not only that, some action cards provide ongoing abilities that are only active as long as they are in your cooldown track. Therefore, you may want to place them in the higher slots to gain the maximum benefits for that effect. The other actions other than playing cards are focus, that allow you to move 2 points up the focus track, and rest, where you can move all your cards in your cooldown track down 1 space as well as at the end of your turn. Combat during a player's turn is simple, where you total up the action card value with any bonuses from ongoing abilities, dice and personality bonuses, and then deduct these from the enemy shields. The enemies are also represented by standees, also containing printed stats. They activate based on initiative and stand colour by revealing specific AI cards and following the action for each enemy. The enemy behaviour cards dictate how the enemy will move and attack, provide the target, but also follow a particular set of priorities. This is a simple and effective mechanic that rarely leaves ambiguities and provides provides multiple decisions throughout the game. Any damage taken from enemies or game events is represented by damage cards. These have when drawn effects, where they are placed on the cooldown track, with both ongoing and discarded effects. As an example, the concussion damage card is placed in slot 1 on the cooldown track and results in less dice being rolled during actions whilst active. When removed from the track, it causes one other damage card to move back up the track, taking longer for that card to be discarded. If unable to place the damage card, your hero becomes unconscious. Now, I was really surprised at how deep the game is, yet the rules are not overly complex. The missions are fun and exciting to play, and the characters I've played with are unique and play differently with a nice selection of varied action cards. From my understanding, the complete campaign books are huge, giving you plenty of missions with branching stories, relationships to gain use of additional cards in the future missions, and events taking place. Missions have sub-stages, so progress with events taking place during the game. I really like the cooldown track and how this promotes forward thinking and strategic hand management that becomes more complex when damage is taken. The use of dice is clever because some results provide a bonus modifier option, but if you're in desperate need of an extra movement point, you can always use a focus to re-roll. I've not even discussed the interact mechanic either. Imagine you need to open a locked door. You don't simply walk up to it and knock. Instead, you draw a number of tokens from the bag equal to your action card value and bonuses. The bag initially contains 8 each of red, blue and purple tokens and 4 white. The idea is to get 3 matching tokens to successfully interact, noting that white counts as any colour, and this can be achieved over multiple rounds. Once drawn, tokens you wish to keep are placed by the object and the other tokens are returned to the bag. If you ever draw 2 white tokens in one action, the interact automatically fails, so there's a push your luck element here too. As the interaction can be carried out over several rounds, you can also decide to change the colour of the tokens used based on subsequent draws. Once successful, the used tokens are kept out of the bag, meaning as the game progresses, the interactions become quicker and easier to do, signifying your adaptive response to the enemy encryptions, and I think that is such a great part of the game. So if you are looking for a fun and exciting story-driven game that is really simple to pick up but offers a deep campaign with a great theme, then I implore you to check out Rogue Angels when it hits Kickstarter this February. The rulebook comes fully loaded with illustrated examples of gameplay actions, making it easy to learn, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all the heroes and their available skills. The action cards provide multiple options, so you never really waste a turn waiting for the cards to return to your hand. The game boasts table talk and tactical discussions with your team and is also just as good as when played solo. You are never really bogged down in combat, and whilst playing, analysis paralysis is rare, which is refreshing in a game such as this. In the meantime, this can also be played on Tabletop Simulator, so check it out. This is Ninja Geek Games. Cheers.